Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we're diving into a seriously delicious adventure, the Fudgy Chocolate Brownie Quest. If you've ever dreamed of biting into the absolute easiest, most incredible homemade brownies you've ever tasted, well, you are in exactly the right place. So grab your aprons, roll up your sleeves, and get your taste buds ready, because we're going to make some real magic happen in the kitchen today. Now, before we even preheat the oven, what exactly are we aiming for here? Like, what does it actually mean to be fudgy? Basically, it means our brownie hits that perfect balance. We're talking super soft, dense, and gooey on the inside with this slightly crispy, paper-thin, crinkly top layer. Oh, and absolutely packed with rich chocolate flavor. That right there is our mouth-watering end goal for today's epic baking journey.
Here's our recipe roadmap for today. We'll start with the Fudgy Brownie Quest. Gather our baking supplies, mix up some magic batter, survive the baking countdown, and finally reach the gooey grand finale. Let's get moving.
Section 1. The Fudgy Brownie Quest begins. Time to start our baking adventure.
Moving right into Section 2, gathering your baking supplies. Let's build out your baking inventory.
All right, remember, we're going to be baking this together step by step, so if you've never baked a single thing in your life, do not worry at all. Every great explorer needs their gear, right? We're going to sort our ingredients into wet and dry piles, just to keep our prep station super organized. For the wet ingredients, we need a half cup of melted butter, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. For the dry side, we're gathering 1 cup of sugar, a half cup of cocoa powder, 3/4 of a cup of flour, and just a tiny pinch of salt.
Now, every quest has some hidden treasure, and this is ours. Chocolate chips. Tossing in a handful of these is totally optional, but honestly, it's highly recommended. It's kind of the secret ingredient that takes your brownies from just amazing to completely unbelievably magical. Keep a handful of these nearby if you want that extra gooey, massive flavor upgrade. Section 3. Mixing the magic batter. Let's combine our wet and dry ingredients.
Okay, with our inventory all gathered, the real magic starts. First, grab a big, sturdy bowl. Pour in your melted butter and your sugar, and just mix that together until it's nice and smooth. Next up, add your eggs. Pro tip here, add them one by one and give it a good stir after each. Finally, splash in your vanilla extract and mix until the whole thing transforms into this beautifully creamy, glossy texture.
Next up, it's time for the absolute superstar ingredient of any brownie, the cocoa powder. Take that half cup of cocoa powder and add it into your creamy mixture, but do it really slowly. If you just dump it all in at once and mix too fast, you're going to end up with a massive cocoa powder cloud right in your face. So just mix it in gently and watch as the batter completely transforms, turning super rich, dark, and wonderfully chocolatey.
I literally cannot emphasize this next part enough. No lumps equals perfect brownies. This is pretty much the golden rule of our quest today. When you're stirring in that cocoa powder, take a second to patiently work out any of those dry little pockets of powder. Creating a perfectly smooth, lump-free batter right now is the absolute secret to getting that perfect fudgy texture later on.
All right, the finish line for our batter prep is in sight. It's time for the final dry ingredients. Go ahead and drop in your 3/4 cup of flour and that tiny pinch of salt. But wait, before you grab your spoon and start stirring like crazy, I've got a really important technique warning for this exact step.
We basically have two paths here. If you mix the batter gently, just folding the flour in until that white powder vanishes, the result is soft and fudgy. That's a total victory. But if it's overmixed, like beaten too fast or stirred way too long after you add the flour, the result is going to be hard, tough brownies. And we definitely do not want sad, tough brownies. So treat the batter kindly, take your time, and mix gently. And hey, remember that optional loot from earlier? If you decided to use the chocolate chips, right now is the perfect moment. Just gently fold them in at the very end of this mixing stage, give it a quick, super gentle stir to spread them out, and your magic batter is officially complete.
Section 4. The baking countdown. Prepare for the trial by fire.
So our batter is perfectly mixed, totally lump-free, and ready to brave the heat. But first, you absolutely must pour the batter into a greased baking tray. Whether you use butter, cooking spray, or baking paper, skipping this step means our epic brownies will stick right to the bottom of the pan, and we won't be able to get them out. So make sure it's greased, and then spread that glorious batter out nice and even. Our target temperature here is 180 degrees Celsius, which is about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you grab an adult to help you turn on and set the oven so we can bake these brownies safely and at the exact right temperature.
Okay, once your baking tray is safely inside the hot oven, we start the countdown clock, 20 to 25 minutes.
That is exactly how long you have to wait for the magic to happen. I know, waiting is literally the hardest part of any quest, but your patience here is going to pay off so much. Just wait until your whole kitchen starts smelling like warm chocolate.
So, how do we know when they're truly done and ready to come out? We use the foolproof toothpick test. Have an adult help you carefully insert a wooden toothpick right into the center of the brownies. When you pull it out, you're looking for slightly sticky crumbs clinging to the wood. If it's completely wet batter, they need more time. If it's completely dry, they might be overdone. But sticky crumbs? That means they are ready and at maximum fudginess.
Section 5. The Gooey Grand Finale. It's time for slicing and serving.
Celebrate because your baking is officially done. But there's one final, incredibly difficult test of patience. You have to let it cool for a few minutes before cutting. You're going to be so tempted to slice right in the exact second they come out, but you must wait. If you slice into them while they're boiling hot, they're going to fall apart into a big crumbly mess. Waiting just a few minutes lets that gooey, soft center cool down and set up perfectly so you can slice them into beautiful, neat squares.
Once they're finally cut, let's talk about perfect pairings. These are the absolute best, most mouth-watering ways to serve up your warm, freshly cut brownie squares. You can serve them nice and warm just as they are. You can grab a tall, ice-cold glass of milk to wash them down, or if you want the ultimate dessert experience, top a warm square with a giant scoop of vanilla ice cream for some serious extra yum.
And that wraps up our explainer. You now have the ultimate map to complete your very own fudgy chocolate brownie quest at home. So the big question for you as you prep your kitchen is this. Will you toss in those extra chocolate chips for maximum gooiness, or will you keep it beautifully classic? The choice is entirely yours. Get in the kitchen, get creative, have fun, and enjoy your amazing baking adventure. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you next time.
This is the best brownie